Have you ever wondered, what if I'm being dumb, and I don't even realize it? Sounds harsh, right? But the 6 signs in this video might just give you the answer. And if you want to live with Stoic wisdom, calm, rational, and emotionally grounded, don't skip this. Sign 1. Reacting instead of reflecting. Picture this. You're driving. Someone recklessly cuts you off. You slam the steering wheel, curse out loud. Your emotions explode. But even 5 minutes later, you're still fuming. Now ask yourself, did that anger make you better? Or did it just make you look dumb in front of everyone else? The foolish man can't control his emotions. He reacts instantly to anything around him, no pause, no filter. There's no gap between feeling and action. And that destroys his reputation, his relationships, and his career. The wise man, especially one who follows Stoicism, always checks in with himself before reacting. He lives by this mindset. You can't control the world, but you can always control your reaction to it. Example 1. At work. The foolish guy. His boss says, "This draft isn't great. You'll need to redo it." He frowns, gets defensive, maybe even goes online and throws shade in a passive-aggressive post. Result: no one wants to work with him. The Stoic guy hears the feedback, pauses, takes notes, asks for clarity, goes back and improves it. Simple. Rational. Doesn't let his ego ruin his growth. Example 2. In love. The foolish guy. His girlfriend texts, "Why are you being distant today?" His pride takes a hit, replies coldly, "I'm busy. Stop bothering me." And just like that, drama begins. The Stoic guy reads the message, takes a breath, thinks, "Is she feeling anxious or unloved?" Replies, "I've been caught up with work, but I still want to hear from you. Let's talk tonight, okay?" Emotionally balanced. Relationship preserved. Example 3. Out in public. The foolish guy. Someone says, "Wow, that was dumb." He instantly wants to fight back, prove something. The Stoic guy smiles, thinks, "Does this person's opinion even matter to me?" No reaction. He doesn't let cheap energy disturb his inner peace. How to train yourself for self-mastery. 1. Practice the 3-second pause. Before you speak or act, pause for 3 seconds and ask, "Does this emotion help me? Will this reaction move me forward or set me back?" 2. Keep an emotional journal. Every night, reflect. How did I react today? What triggered me? Why? How can I handle it better next time? 3. Apply Epictetus' quote. It's not the event itself that hurts you, it's your thoughts about the event. 4. Remember your bigger goal. Before reacting, ask, does this emotion bring me closer to the life I want? Is it worth it? Reacting is instinct. Reflecting is strength. If you want to become a mature man, calm, rational, in control of any situation, the first thing you need to master is not a skill. It's your emotions. Sign 2. Blaming circumstances. A foolish man always plays the victim. He blames his failures on other people, society, or bad luck and never stops to look in the mirror. A Stoic man, on the other hand, knows this truth. No one can hurt you unless you let them. You can't control the world, but you can absolutely control how you respond to it. Let's break it down with real-life examples. Example: the 35-year-old man still dependent on his parents. "I couldn't start a business because my parents never gave me money." But the truth? He's never read a single book on personal finance. He has 0 budgeting skills. He hasn't learned a single income-generating skill to improve his value. A Stoic man would say, "I didn't get any support. Good. That's my chance to build my own strength." Example: the heartbreak. "She cheated on me." Modern women only care about money, but let's be honest, he had no life direction, didn't work on himself, and was irrationally jealous. The Stoic man asks himself, what part did I play in this? Am I loving like a strong man or like a weak one? Example: Can't find a job, blames the economy. Unemployment's normal now. Society crushes young people, but truth is, he refuses to learn new skills. He hasn't updated his resume. He's not adapting to the digital world. A Stoic man asks, "What can I do today to turn this around?" Example, anger, blaming someone else. "He made me mad." But let's be clear, your emotions belong to you. No one makes you angry. You choose to be angry. The Stoic response: if I lose control just because of someone's words, am I really in charge or just another machine reacting? How to shift the Stoic way. 1. Live by this rule. A strong man never blames others. He asks, "What do I control?" and focuses all his energy there. When you blame others, you give up your power. Epictetus. The foolish man lives his whole life in victim mode. The Stoic chooses to live as the author of his story. If this hits home for you, don't be ashamed. Awareness is the first step toward change. Drop a comment if you've ever fallen into the blame game, and I'll help you work through it. Sign 3. Not learning, not reading. A foolish man doesn't learn not because he's not smart, but because he thinks he knows enough already. He doesn't read. Doesn't care how the world is changing. He mocks those who do. Why read philosophy? I live in the real world. I'm not some dreamy philosopher. All self-help content is just fluff. But here's the truth. The world doesn't wait for you. Every day you're not learning, you're falling behind. Mike, the Netflix king. Mike, 34, works construction in Texas. Every day after work, Netflix, YouTube reactions, and endless shows. Friends invite him to learn coding. He says, "I'm too old for that now. Just trying to chill." 3 years later, his company automates. Mike gets laid off. He goes back to watching Netflix, complaining how the world is unfair. If Mike had just spent 30 minutes a day learning digital skills, design, data, or even communication, he'd still be in the game. Jake, master debater, ignorant thinker. Jake, 29, has opinions on everything: politics, education, the economy. But when asked, "When's the last time you finished a book?" he answers, "Books are outdated. I just watch summaries on YouTube." Jake lives on borrowed opinions. He knows what people are fighting about, but not why it matters. The most dangerous fool is the one who thinks he's smart. Brian, the stubborn dad. Brian, 42, a plumber with 20 years of experience. He's good, but new tech comes out, AI pipe scanners, scheduling apps. He's falling behind. His son suggests learning new tools. Brian snaps, "I've been doing this longer than you've been alive. Don't tell me what to do." His pride won't let him learn from the next generation. A foolish man isn't someone who doesn't know. He's someone who refuses to learn. Reminds us of Socrates. "I know that I know nothing, that's the beginning of wisdom." A Stoic doesn't just learn from books. He learns from life, from failure, and from his own reflection. Even Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man of his time, wrote in his journal every day, "Did I live with reason today? Did I grow today?" Here's how you can start. 1. Adopt this mindset. Learn something every single day. Write down each night, "What did I learn today?" It doesn't have to be big, just stay aware that you're growing. 2. Read at least 10 pages a day. Recommendations. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. The Art of Living, Epictetus. Atomic Habits, James Clear. Deep Work, Cal Newport. Or any book that challenges you to think deeper. 3. Swap mindless scrolling for meaningful content. Try the Daily Stoic Podcast. Thomas Frank, Productivity. Ali Abdal, Learning Growth. 4. Practice a growth mindset every time you want to quit. Your mantra: "I don't know this yet, but I can learn." Final quote to remember: a reader lives 1,000 lives. A man who refuses to learn lives in an invisible cage. He thinks he's free, but is trapped by his own ignorance. Ryan Holiday. So who are you right now, Mike, Jake, or Brian? Comment below and tell me who you used to be and who you want to become. And if you're ready to grow wiser every single day, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Let's grow together. Let's train together. Let's become true Stoic men, starting today. Sign 4. You care too much about what others think. There's a kind of prison with no bars, no guards, no locks. And yet, it traps more people than steel ever could. Its name? What will people think of me? A foolish man can spend his whole life in that prison, without even realizing he's a prisoner. He's afraid of being judged. He craves approval. He doesn't live honestly, not because of the law, but because of the stairs. Let me tell you a story. There was a young man, passionate about photography. He loved nature and dreamed of becoming a travel photographer. But his family said, "Do whatever you want, as long as you get a monthly paycheck and health insurance." His friends said, "Wait, you went to college for 4 years, just to take pictures?" So he packed up his camera, tucked away his dream, and applied for a job he didn't care about. Every morning, he woke up not to sunlight, but to fog. Every night, he didn't feel tired, he felt empty. That's the cost of living for other people's approval. What does Stoic philosophy say? Stoicism doesn't teach rebellion. It teaches awareness, to know the difference between what's within our control, our thoughts, values, choices, and what's outside our control, opinions, judgments, gossip, praise or blame. If you're seeking approval from the crowd, you've already surrendered your soul. Seneca. How this shows up in everyday life. 1. The man who can't say, "I don't know." He's afraid of looking weak, so he lies, bluffs, and pretends to know everything. The fool fears looking foolish. The wise know that admitting ignorance is the first step toward wisdom. 2. The man chasing the social scoreboard. He buys the latest car, the newest phone, the fancy watch, not because he needs them, but because he's afraid of being laughed at for not having them. The fool builds an image. The wise man builds character. 3. The man who tries to please everyone. He says yes when he means no, plays nice to avoid being disliked, puts on a mask to gain approval. But the more he tries to please the world, the further he drifts from himself. The cost of living this way? Constant exhaustion from always playing a role. Chronic anxiety from never knowing who's judging you. Inner conflict from living a life that isn't yours. So how do you break free? Stoic practices. 1. Practice the circle of control each morning. Take a sheet of paper. Draw 2 columns. Things I can control, my actions, words, thoughts. Things I cannot control, other people's opinions, comments, criticism. Put all your energy into the first column. Ignore the second. 2. Ask yourself before every decision. If no one were watching, would I still do this? If the answer is no, then maybe you're not living for you. 3. Get rejected on purpose. Each day, do something small that invites rejection. Share an imperfect idea. Wear something unusual. Say no when you mean it. Over time, you'll grow immune to public opinion. Here's a bold question for you. Are you living your life? Or are you just an extra in society's movie? The foolish man measures his worth by other people's nods. The stoic man measures his worth by the courage to be real, no matter who's watching. No one can give you freedom unless you give it to yourself. Marcus Aurelius. If you're exhausted from living under everyone's gaze, maybe it's time to close your eyes and finally see yourself. Sign 5. The need to control everything. The foolish man thinks he can and must control everything. The weather, his partner, his co-workers, his results, even morning traffic. And when things don't go exactly as planned, he gets angry, blames others, or gives up entirely. This is a dangerous self-deception. Thinking you have power over things you don't leads only to frustration, disappointment, and burnout. A simple example: traffic jam. Mr. A leaves home on time. On the way to an important meeting, there's an accident up ahead, traffic stalls. Instead of accepting the situation and calling his boss, he yells, slams the steering wheel, and blames his girlfriend. "You were slow this morning, this is your fault." What would a Stoic do? Take a deep breath. Observe the emotion. Remind himself, "This is outside my control. I'll handle what comes next with clarity." In relationships, controlling your partner. Mr. B loves a woman, but he wants her to eat, speak, and act exactly like their ideal image in his head. If she replies to a text 5 minutes late, he feels betrayed. He spirals into anger and anxiety. This is toxic control. It breeds jealousy, pressure, and emotional collapse. What would a Stoic do? Ask, does she have the freedom to be herself? Instead of controlling others, he masters his own reactions. At work, when things don't go as planned. A startup founder with big dreams. When his team messes up a small task, he lashes out, micromanages, and ends up doing everything himself. Result: his team loses motivation. He burns out. What would a Stoic do? Focus on improving the system, not blaming people. Delegate, and accept that risk is part of the process. Stoic Toolkit: overcoming the illusion of control. Draw 2 circles. Circle 1, what I can control. My actions, thoughts, responses. Circle 2, what I can't control. Other people, the weather, accidents, outcomes. Put it on your wall. Look at it every morning. Train your mind to stay in Circle 1. Practice. Premeditatio malorum, prepare for the worst. Every day, take 3 minutes to imagine setbacks, rejection, delays, failure. Not to be negative, but to prepare your mind like a soldier training before battle. When you try to control what's outside your reach, you lose control of what's always been yours, yourself. Epictetus: the foolish man thinks the world should bend to his will. The wise, the Stoic, knows the world belongs to no one, but the one who masters himself. He is king. Sign 6, no personal code. Have you noticed how so many men today are just existing, not really living? They wake up, check their phones, scroll TikTok, chase deadlines, then drink at night and crash in bed. Over and over. Day in, day out. Year after year. No values. No direction. No code to live by. Like a ship with no compass, just drifting. And when the storm hits, they sink. A man without principles is easy prey for this chaotic world. 1 minute he's saying, "I'm waking up at 5 a.m. every day." Next day, he's in bed until 9, mumbling, "Gotta slow down and practice self-love." 1 week he says, "I'd never lie to anyone." Next week, he's two-timing and justifying it with, "Well, I wasn't exclusive." One day he's into Stoic philosophy, talking all zen. Next day, he's drunk, posting petty stories about his ex. A man with no code is like a song with no rhythm, no melody, no chorus, just noise. Do it if I feel like it. Quit if I don't. Living by emotion, not discipline. Goes to the gym for 2 days. Tries learning a new language for 3 sessions. Meditates for 15 minutes. Then quits. Why? I lost interest. I'm busy. I'm stressed. I'm tired. And worst of all, they think that's normal. But Stoicism teaches us, freedom isn't doing whatever you feel like. Freedom is doing what's right, even when you don't feel like it. Easily manipulated. Easily lost. Some online guru says, drop out of college to be rich. Boom, he quits school. Some girl says, I like bad boys. So he starts drinking, gets tattoos, and acts like a jerk. Because he has no standards, he lives to impress others, not himself. He's not living his life. He's chasing trends. And because nothing is sacred to him, he takes no responsibility. A man with principles won't show up late because his word means something. A man with principles won't cheat because honesty builds self-respect. But a man without them, he'll promise you something and break it 5 minutes later without a blink. Why? Because in his mind, there's no code, no rules, no inner compass. He's just a boy in a grown man's body. How to escape the drift, the Stoic way. 1. Write your own code and stick to it like your life depends on it. The ancient Romans had a saying, "He who lives without principles is spiritually committing suicide." Write down at least 3 non-negotiable rules for your life. For example, 1. Never betray someone's trust. 2. Wake up before 6:30 a.m. no matter what. 3. Don't let a day go by without learning something new. Live by just those 3 every day and you're already ahead of 90% of people. 2. Look in the mirror every night and ask yourself, did I live by my code today? This is how Seneca, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, held himself accountable. You don't need anyone to judge you. Just be honest with yourself. That's the most brutal and fair test you'll ever take. 3. Don't live like the crowd, be the mountain in the storm. Storms will come from every direction. TikTok, drama, trends, fear, laziness. But if you have principles, you stand tall. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A rational man does not let the world shape him. He lives in harmony with nature and virtue, not the chaos of the outside world." A man without a code is like a rudderless ship, easy to drift, easy to sink. But a Stoic man, he lives by principle, and that makes him a mountain in a world drowning in chaos. Have you written your personal code yet? If not, today is the day. Stop drifting. Stand up. Take control. Because here's the truth. A man isn't stupid because he's poor. Not because he fails. Not even because he's not talented. He's stupid because he doesn't know where he's going. He doesn't know who he is. And worst of all, he never pauses to ask, am I living the right way? The world isn't lacking men. It's lacking men with principles. Men who can master their emotions, reflect deeply, and stand strong in the storm. The world needs more Marcus Aurelius. And fewer loudmouth TikTokers. You can command an army. But if you can't command yourself, you're still a failure. So today, you have a choice. Keep living the same way. Emotional reactions, blame, excuses, laziness, drifting. The result? A mediocre life that slowly fades away. Or become a Stoic man. Calm like a rock in a raging river. Sharp like a sword forged by discipline. Living with purpose, not to impress others, but to become someone you respect. And if you're ready to begin right now, just do one thing. Comment below, I choose to lead. Just 3 words. But it's a vow you make to yourself. You don't have to shout it. You just have to live it. And remember, if this video spoke to something inside you, because the world gets better when men live with reason, not with recklessness. And it all starts with you.